Hello everyone, my name's Jake and today I will be taking you through a virtual tour of our EquatIO software. I'd first like to just show you this next slide. So EquatIO is essentially our tool to make math digital. It's an expression tool for mathematics and other science and STEM courses as well. Now the best way for me to show you EquatIO is to just jump straight into the toolbar. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So as you can see down the bottom of the page here, this is the EquatIO toolbar. Now, in that, you have multiple different input methods. So, for example, to start from the left-hand side, we have the equation editor there. Now, the equation editor allows you to create maths and science expressions by typing right into the editor. And you can use the prediction feature within here to insert fractions, formulas, chemistry symbols, and many more other things there. So now, for example, if I wanted to start by getting a quadratic formula, you can see that all I've done is simply type in QU and it brings up a list of all of the things that begin with the QU. So if I want to click quadratic formula, now that's so much faster than me actually typing in and having to format that. All I've done there, again, if I just delete that out and type QU, it'll bring up the exact same thing, quadratic formula. And now the nice thing is that anything that I'm working on within the equation editor box carries across to all the other input methods. So for example, if I'm typing away in the equation editor, and then I want to switch to LaTeX, for example, the box has stayed the same, the content in there is still the same, and I can work on it in a different input method. Exactly the same with handwriting recognition and speech input also. Now, the nice thing about this equation editor box is the fact that if you click on the three dots up the top, it brings up multiple different symbols and formulas that you can just choose from. Now, the nice thing is if any of them are really relevant to you and the subject that you're studying, what you can do is just save them, click the little heart button on the right-hand side, and what it'll do is it'll save them into your favorite section at the end there. Now, that's really handy if, for example, you don't want to type it away. So if I wanted to just bin that now, but then I wanted to go into my favorites and I need the quadratic formula back, it's there and accessible within my favorite section. Now, if I, for example, have moved on from that topic or I'm no longer needing that formula, I can just click remove from favorites and it's as simple as that. It's the same with all the symbols and the exact same with the other content within this as well. And now to get rid of what I'm working on within the box, it's just a simple click of clear there. And now that I've done that, I can then click insert text and I can work on my way again. So if I wanted to do any volume of the cube or cones, cylinders, prisms, any volume there, I just type in VO and it'll do the same thing. If I want, for example, if I want to plus equals any math expression symbol there, if you start typing it, it will come up. Now, that's really handy, but to move on to our next input method here, so we've got LaTeX. And now for more advanced users than myself, you can use LaTeX to create math expressions and put them straight into a digital document. So now, similar to what I would have done in this equation box here, if I wanted to go back to my quadratic formula, all I simply have to do is click into the document where I want the math to be inserted and click insert math down the right-hand side, and it will put the math straight into my document. Now, the nice thing about that is once it's in the document there, if I was to click on it and I was to edit this math, so if I wanted to click on it there and click edit math down the right-hand side, it would bring that math on the page straight back into the editor box and allow me to customize it. So if I wanted, for example, I realized that I'd made a mistake and a letter was wrong, a number was wrong, or the formatting was a little bit off, I can just simply update it within the editor box, click insert maths, and then what it does, it updates it into the document, into the version that I already had currently within my document. So it's not going to spit out another equation for you to then have to go back and delete. It's just going to update the one that you're currently working on. And that's the same within all of our input methods. So you've got LaTeX there. Now, fully editable, and what it'll do is if I edit any part of the LaTeX box, it will update it into the right hand side. So it'll update it into the maths, and then I can input the maths into my document, and again come back and fully edit that however I need to. We've also got graphing with Desmos. So as you can see here, you've got your input method for your graphing there. You've also, up on the right hand side, you've got graph settings in which you can change the Y, X axis, you can add labels, you can change a wide variety of different things within that mode. And then again, simply to add that into your document, it's just insert graph, and then what it'll do is it'll pop that straight into your document for you. And now if you want that in there, brilliant. If not, simply click the backspace button when you've clicked on it, and it will take it out of the document for you. Now the next input method is handwriting recognition. So now this is fantastic for anybody that uses a touchscreen device or would prefer to use this input method with a mouse pointer. But it's nice because if I simply just start writing away here, it's recognizing what I'm putting down on the page. And even though that isn't the clearest of handwritten maths, it's still picking up what I'm putting down. And that works for anything from basic to very complex maths within the handwriting function. And again, I can continue going there. So if I wanted to now try and do multi-line math, it's as simple as that. So that is the handwriting feature. And then we have also got the speech input. So an example of that would be if I was to say A x squared plus b cubed equals y. There you go. As you can see there, it's popped it straight into my document. And then now I can insert that maths straight into the document that I'm working within. And I've just created math simply through dictation there. Now, again, that works for simplistic to complex maths. It's just very specific to the needs that you have, and EquatIO will meet those needs. Now, moving on, we've got the screenshot reader. So now if I was to go into a web document, for example, so if I was to go into differentiation up the top here, and I've still got my EquatIO toolbar open. So now if I want to open up my screenshot reader up the top right here, or down at the bottom of my toolbar, I click screenshot reader here, and let's say I take this example and just highlight that there. Now what it'll do, as you can see, it didn't show up as maths. It's now converted it to maths.
3 lines, line 1.
It will read it aloud to you as well using the text-to-speech software. And if I wanted to copy that and take it from a web page to put it into, for example, the Google Doc that I'm working within, all I simply do is click the 3 dots, click copy latex. And if I go now back into my document, click open the LaTeX box and paste it in there, as you can see, it's took what I had on the online document there and brought it across to my Word document that I'm working within. Now, if I wanted to insert that, nice and simple, it's a simple case of clicking insert maths, it will do that exact same thing. And now I can bring that back down in the box and edit it however I like, or I can just simply delete it out and start working that again. So that's how the screenshot reader works, particularly with an online document. Now, if I was to go on other web pages, this little EquatIO limited toolbar at the top here has this little button here called discoverability. Now what that does is it's designed to recognize maths on the page, and then it'll highlight it in a little blue box. And once it does that, it allows you to, again, capture the maths, similar to how I just did with the screenshot reader there, and bring that across into a document that you're working within. And then you've got the maths there, accessible, fully editable for you to use. Now, I'm also going to show you EquatIO Mobile. So this is our companion app for our EquatIO toolbar. So as you can see on the screen here, it tells you what to do. So it says visit EquatIO. So now I'm going to show you a video of the utilization of the EquatIO mobile. Now, if I'm to just click this open. So as you can see in the top right, the students went to the web address EquatIO, and then what's going to happen is it's going to bring them to the EquatIO mobile dashboard, as you can see there on the screen. Now, the student has 3 documents open at the top, and within those documents, they've been brought up into the active documents on the right-hand side here. Now, all the student needs to do, all you need to do is select one of these to be able to then insert the maths that you create with EquatIO mobile. So, for example, this student here is going to select the solving linear equations. And once they've done that, they then have the input methods of EquatIO mobile. So it's a more limited toolbar at the bottom, but you have handwriting, speech, and the camera button here. So now on the screen, they've got the document open on the left-hand side. They're currently drawing maths on the right-hand side. So now that they've done that, now that they've finished, they're going to click the green tick down here. And once they've done that, it's going to give them 2 options. It's going to get them an option to save as an image or save as maths. For this example, the student's going to click save as maths. And it's going to convert that maths and put it into the document once they click the blue button down in the bottom right corner. Now again, with the EquatIO toolbar, they can fully edit that maths and change it however they like. But now they're going to write in the right-hand box the exact same thing, but save it as an image. So now what it's going to do is going to take a screenshot of that and allow them to input that into their document. So now that math is not editable. You can't edit that maths. However, it still allows you to take maths from a mobile device onto an online document. Moving on to the next feature, the student's now going to use the dictate feature, and they're going to say x equals 60 degrees. As you can see, it's came up as they would speak it, as they would dictate it, x equals 60 degrees. But now, once I've clicked stop and the green tick, it's going to convert that, save as maths, convert it into the correct format, and allow them to input that into the document and move that around onto the screen wherever they need it. And then finally, we've got the capture method. So if they click the camera down in the bottom right, now that there is handwritten maths. As you can see from the shadow over it, taking the picture, that's handwritten maths from a student that's jotted down some notes in a lecture. Now what they're going to do is take a picture of that with EquatIO mobile. You can drag and drop the little blue box around, so if you only wanted to capture one part of that or all of it, you can do so. Now if you click Save as Maths, it's converted that digitally, and it allows you to input that into the document and fully customize that within the EquatIO toolbar. But now they're going to do the other option, which is save as an image. And then essentially what that does is screenshots it, similar to what it did with the handwriting function. But again, it will allow you to upload that into your current document that you're working within. So again, it's taking that very inaccessible offline maths and creating accessible online maths. Now, the final feature that I want to show you of EquatIO is EquatIO MathSpace. This EquatIO MathSpace is a super smart collaborative workspace, which is within your Chrome browser that enables you to create content using different shapes and manipulatives. So as you can see, we've still got the EquatIO toolbar open at the bottom with a few added additions to the toolbar here. So we've got the select tool, the freehand drawing, shapes, and smart shapes. So now this is just a way to get expressions down onto the page. So for example, if I was to want a sphere, simply click on it, drag and drop, and there you go, you've got it on your screen. Now if I wanted to, for example, do the diameter of that, draw the line across, draw an arrow down, and then I can use my prediction box to go back and type in, for example, D equals, and get the D equals 75 there. And then click Insert Maths. And then as simple as that was, to just create a resource there. And now again, if I wanted that bigger, there you go. To create a very simple resource there for myself to refer back to. It was less than a minute to do so. And now you can create very specific relevant content to yourself in your course by using these tools, as well as the range of tools and functionalities that we've got within the EquatIO toolbar. So that in itself is EquatIO toolbar. I want to show you one more thing, and that is in the settings. I'll do that again so you can see what I did. In the settings down here, click options. And then if I go to math options, I can actually turn off the chemistry and formulas there if it's not relevant to my course. So it'll stop it suggesting, stop EquatIO suggesting a lot of things that potentially aren't relevant to myself. However, if they are relevant, turn them straight back on, click save, and that's you good to go. That, in a nutshell, is our EquatIO toolbar. Thank you very much for listening, and good luck in your studies.